Are you ready to learn how to use Claude when it comes to managing either your calendar or your client's calendar as an executive assistant? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps that I have used for myself when it comes to using Claude, when it comes to managing my calendar in the day-to-day of making sure I'm supposed to be where I need to be, hence also making my own executive assistant's life a little bit easier. And essentially what that looks like is essentially I have it set up where for Google Calendar, it's connected right into my Claude through the connectors MCP. You can do the same thing with other AI tools. I just like using Claude because I also build things with Claude. So here you can say, it says, how can I help you today? We'll just use Sonnet because it uses less credits and this doesn't need a lot of brain cells to get started. And essentially, I can ask different things. What's on my agenda today? And this is my real actual calendar. It's actually hooked up to it. So then it will now go ahead and read my preferences and my background. So I have a Leanne skill that I have installed basically into Claude. So it knows my preferences, what I like, what I want to see, and basically it will load up tools. So here it would actually look at my Google Calendar and it will also look at my Notion. So you might see a few things off of my Notion here that I will have to ask my video editor to clean out. But basically here you can see, so it didn't grab my Notion right away. So at 7 a.m., wake up, I had my sync with my assistant already, lunch, afternoon off and sleep. Now Wednesdays usually are what I call my afternoon off, mostly to focus on projects. I don't usually have a lot of meetings on this day because typically my Tuesday and Thursdays are back-to-back booked. So that's why I have Wednesdays is kind of like a way for me to actually focus and get work done inside of the business. So that's why my calendar looks very, very light. Now, normally, for example, if this was a Tuesday, it would have given me like, hey, these are all of your meetings for the day. These are team meetings, these are client meetings, these are sales calls, and will actually give me a red alert on which ones to prepare for, which ones I could maybe move, and of course, if there are any overlapping. And I have it set up on Claude Cowork where it runs on a schedule. Every day, I get a report from it basically right onto a designated space that I have on Notion that I will check first thing in the morning, and I don't have to fill anything up. My assistant doesn't have to fill anything up. Basically, it's all just there. And basically the other ways that I use it for is when I'm setting up appointments, when I'm setting up reminders, when I'm asking things to be moved. Essentially, I don't have to go to my assistant anymore. Claude just does it for me. And then for my assistant, she just makes sure that I moved it to the right spot. She just double checks if I was able to do it the right way, or Claude in this case has been able to do it the right way. And essentially it's just made my life a little bit easier because I can just voice note essentially to Claude and it'll move things around inside of my calendar. So how I was able to set this up is through a process that I created to make it easy for anyone to remember when it comes to adding AI into anything inside of their life or their business. And it's actually also the name of the actual offer and service that we do into XU, where it's basically called BOSAI or BOS with AI. The original meaning of it was actually creating your business operating stack with AI, but actually it's now a full process where B is blueprinting, where you're brain dumping every single thing that you're currently doing right now. You can't AI anything that you don't actually know. O is organizing it, making sure you have imagine you're creating a recipe for something. You have all the detail, you have the tools, you have the process written out, you have some sort of a video of walking through what this looks like. S is systematizing it, so it's making sure that it's captured into one single document or your standard operating procedure, so then it's easy to be able to go through and follow. A is automate/delegate. This is where you basically come to a point where you're deciding, do I just have this be fully automated with AI or delegate it to someone else, or do I delegate the automation of this to someone else? So there's a lot of different variations of it, but the quick and easy test is like, hey, if you leave this alone for a week, will it screw it up? Basically, that's at least that's my own test for it. Like, do I need to delegate or automate this fully? If I leave it for a week, will something blow up? If things are fine and it's fully good to go on automating, but if it still needs human to look at it, just like my calendar management, I have a mix of automating and delegating style on here. And lastly, I is basically integrate and iterate, which basically now we're testing and fully seeing in a week if something else explodes or something goes wrong, and then making sure that you document any other changes that you find as you actually test out this whole process and system. So how do you actually set this up on a calendar? So for example, the first B is just the blueprinting, is brain dumping. Document what you already have. It's basically B and O and then S is documenting what you currently have, what processes you currently have when it comes to managing your own calendar. So for example, for me, I technically do have booking times with me kind of automated because I have Calendly as the automation where people of course can check on a calendar link that I have and they book a call, and basically it sends them an automation already of like, hey, this is the book call, here's the calendar invite, here are like a series of emails that you're getting because you booked this call. So that's already set up as an automation. So when it comes to my own calendar management, a lot of it is just life. A lot of it is just like, hey, I'm flying here. Hey, I'm doing a talk or a webinar here. Or, hey, I'm sick. I can't do any meetings right now. So for me, that's essentially what that means for my assistant to do calendar management is she just documents whenever things shift, whenever things change, who to notify, who to move this meeting to, and making sure anyone who needs to know about the meeting being moved is notified correctly. So what this looks like for me is, for example, let's say I wanted to schedule an ad hoc meeting with my team just because like, hey, I need to discuss this X, Y, and Z with you. So for example, let's do this with my own assistant, Honey. I want to schedule a sync with Honey at 5 p.m. today. Please add to my calendar and invite her. Use the same Zoom room we use in the daily sync. So without a lot of context, right? I'm just giving it like, hey, you already know my calendar. You already connected on my calendar. By the way, if you guys want a tutorial on how to connect your Google Calendar into Claude, there's a ton of other ones. It's super easy. You just go to connectors and you'll find it there. But let's say it's just that. It's like, I just want to do an ad hoc meeting with her. So you can see like thinking about this. So it's going to ask, it wants to create a calendar event from Google Calendar. I'll say always allow. And then it will actually go ahead and do that. And I don't have to think about it. It's going to be added. You see it right there. It even grabbed the Zoom link on there. Of course, I'm going to blur that off for you guys. But basically, Honey's been invited and should get a notification. Heads up, it does overlap with your afternoon off block, just so you know. So it gives me like, hey, done. But like, just so you know, it's there. So it makes sure that I'm alerted if there's anything that's conflicting, if something that doesn't make sense. Now, if I want to say, go ahead and cancel, give her a note that this was just a test. So, and I just go always allow. Usually I do have it on my settings that I want it to pause before it actually sends something out, because I don't want it to send something out that I don't even want it to be there. Eventually it will get to the point where AI is smarter than that and will actually just figure it out. But that's just it. Eventually, the event's canceled and Honey should get a notification cancellation. Basically, I couldn't add a personal note, but that's fine. But then it can want me to draft a quick message to send her directly, Slack email checks, letting you know it was just a test. So I can do the same thing where I can ask it, okay, can you go ahead and draft that email? And then I'll just send it out later. So whatever that looks like, whatever that means, that essentially is what it could look like to kind of just have Claude is kind of honestly a little bit of a glorified calendar manager, but at the same time, then you can use it for other things. Basically, the next level thing that you can really do to not just have Claude as your scheduler is you can use it to optimize a lot of what your life looks like and what you want it to look like. So for example, if I said, hey, can you make sure to map out on my calendar that I will be using this evening to be able to work out. I'll be going to the gym at around 7 o'clock and then coming back to work at around 8:30. Make sure that there's buffer time for me to be able to get there, and make sure that this is a recurring calendar moving forward for every Wednesday. So then I will hit enter on that. It basically will just now go ahead and put that on my calendar, as you guys saw earlier. And then now for me and for my life, I have that now blocked out, right? I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to be confused about that. And now there's a lot of other ways that you can fully just use Claude when it comes to optimizing your calendar, optimizing your productivity. You can ask it to give you an analysis of like, hey, what's wrong with my week? What I could be doing less basically in my week or doing more with my week. So Basically here done. Here's something going on every Wednesday evening. Leave for the gym, and then back to work. So you can see this already adding in all of those because I did approve it earlier to always allow. So then it's blocked off, and I'm guessing this is going to be for every Wednesday. There you go. It's now mapped it out for every Wednesday moving forward that I do have, going to the gym basically every evening. And then I'll say, can you delete those, please? So, and then I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Now, when it comes to calendar management, it really is just that. It's making sure that there's no overlap, making sure the calendar invite gets sent to the right people, making sure if there's any edits that's needed, you're just basically chatting with Claude of like, hey, can you remove this? Can you move this? Can you add this person into an invite? You don't have to manually go into Google anymore to do any of those edits because you have Claude essentially managing and optimizing your calendar as you need to. And if you are an executive assistant and you're managing your client's calendar through Claude, you might need them to log in essentially as them into your Claude so then it connects to the Google Calendar. There's a little bit of that complication there, but honestly, like for me as a business owner, I love it because I don't have to feel like I could be bothering my assistant if I'm having an idea at like 12 a.m. or if I am on a call with a potential client and they say like, hey, let's go ahead and schedule the onboarding call next week. Like I don't have to feel like I have to chat my assistant that. I can basically just have Claude schedule that out. It already would know the template essentially for that kind of call, what to put in the description, so on and so forth. So it makes my life easier when it comes to just getting things done without a lot of the friction for myself. So then for my executive assistant, she can focus on the higher things that I would need her to do, which is basically managing essentially that onboarding for the client, making sure I have the files that I need before that onboarding, so on and so forth. So then for me, I feel supported in doing what I do best. So essentially you've seen Claude be able to create and delete calendar invites. You've seen it be able to get context of meetings. Essentially it grabbed that Zoom meeting that I usually use for my meeting with my assistant into that invite because I said to grab it from the invite. You've also seen it be able to put things into recurring. So for your client, if they have recurring meetings or if you have recurring meetings, asking Claude to just schedule that out ongoing. You can ask it to block out essentially your focus time or your lifetime of going to the gym, doing your habits, whatever that looks like for you. And of course, you can also use it when it comes to just making sure that your life is aligned to what it is that you want. You can ask it to analyze your calendar, you can ask it for feedback, and you can even ask it to create a draft of a calendar of what your week should look like, depending on who you are, what you do, who you work with, and essentially your own focus as well. Now, if you guys like this video, of course, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below what other ways do you want me to walk you through how to use Claude in your day-to-day. I would love to know. And if you still haven't yet, of course, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday on how to grow as an executive assistant, especially in the age of AI. If you are an entrepreneur yourself and you want to learn more about how you can use AI for your business, I have a second channel right here, or you can check out the latest YouTube video right here. Hope you guys have an amazing and fantastic day, and with that small steps matters, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.